contact with the guy who was the head of his opposite unit in Russia. You've never heard of them. Nobody really knows who they are, except the American remote viewers have got their name up in lights. But these guys, Troop 10,003, as they're known. Have you heard of Troop 10,003?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, exactly. They're the Russian remote viewing outfit. These guys are sharp. They are really, really sharp to the level of remote influencing, which is something I'm very interested in. And what happens is that they are capable of remote influence operations in terms of remote influencing on a planetary scale. But it's not up in lights. Their information isn't out there for all to see. The techniques that they use aren't published, but the guys behind it all know what they're doing when it comes to consciousness and spirituality. And for me, Ben, I think they sum it up very nicely in my situation, where currently I'm in a state of utter depression and utter despair, even though I don't sound it, because of all that's happened to me. I'm targeted, and it's pretty bloody nasty. To all intents and purposes, though, it's known as not what you know, but what we can prove. So we can prove that there is, perhaps we can prove that I'm this, perhaps we can prove that I'm that, when in fact we know that it really went on and what I'm saying really happened. And so, so that's why I looked at remote viewing. And these guys, they came up with a very nice kind of analysis of people like myself when they said that some of us, we are operating on, if we were a stool, we'd have four legs, Ben. The fourth leg has been taken away, we're standing on three, and some of us are just barely balancing on two legs at the moment. And that's what it's about for the targeted contactee experience. So when they get hit by these forces of chaos and forces of cosmos, and they're in the thick of it, due to the unique dynamic of extraterrestrial contact, and it is a unique situation to be in. It really is, and that's how it all kind of kicks off. And these guys in Russia came up with a concept called new cosmology. They came up with this whole cosmological understanding of the cosmos. Even the head of their Joseph McMonagle's equivalent, a guy called Alexei Savin, he used a specialist unit to have contact with UFOs and had quality control there, and spoke to the Russian media about it as well. And the Russian media did not ridicule him. Can you imagine a military general going on UK media, former chief of staff, and talking about UFOs? He'd be absolutely ridiculed. But you see, not only that, what is interesting to note is there's an element of this, the Russia-Ukraine issue, where what you don't know, Ben, and what a lot of listeners don't know, is that the CIA partly funded Russia's remote viewing research. And not a lot of people know that one, but they did.
Was this during the Cold War, during the Soviet era?
Yes, it was. They partly funded it. Right, you see, to keep it quiet. Yeah, oh yeah, that's how they all know each other. They all know each other. These guys, they don't mess about. These guys and girls do not mess about. And the CIA put about $2 million their way because obviously the Russians were onto something.
Well, Tony, we've got to get this in for the listeners, because people are now going to say, well, hang on a minute, they were fighting the Cold War against each other. But yeah, publicly, behind the scenes, it's always very different, isn't it?
Behind the scenes, it is always very different because one element is fighting the Cold War, but the other element is working with secrecy hand in hand.
Yeah.
They're a part of the same side. But at the moment, NATO, expanding eastwards towards Russia, wants a war. It can't help itself. It just cannot help wanting a war. They want a war for some reason. There are ulterior forces out there that both these governments are all aware of that are propelling Europe and Russia towards conflict. Although I don't think the conflict will come from Russia, I think it will come from the area of the South China Sea area is where the flashpoint really is. And so that's basically, Ben, I studied remote viewing as a key to understand what was going on with me. And my God, did I get some answers.